This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
Worn out, old, skanky hoe Glock 34.
But you keep the gun against your belt buckle.
Are you stupid?
Depends on the topic, but I don't believe so.
You're just a human swinger.
All those words to say nothing.
He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. Jeff, you're 6'9". Do you play golf?
I've never found a club long enough for me.
I didn't figure as much, but there's a Top Golf I drove by in Omaha on the way back last weekend. There's a Top Golf out in Indianapolis, too. And a guy from there, he had a really bad shot at the Top Golf.
Oh, no.
It was his carry gun. Went off.
Oh, shit.
While he was swinging a golf club. According to Fox 59 in Indianapolis, Anthony Hurd Jr. was arrested on 2 felony charges after his gun went off while swinging a golf club at the Fisher's Top Golf last Friday. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Video surveillance showed him taking a swing and people nearby reacting to a gunshot. While he picked up an object off the mat. Yeah, probably the jacket of the bullet, maybe. Police said Hurd attempted to play it off as nothing happened, but he and most of his group left the premises before police arrived. Police were able to track him down, by the way, because he had a GPS monitor on his ankle from a past conviction.
He's doubling down.
He's going to face charges for being a serious felon in possession of a firearm and criminal recklessness. Too bad he didn't accidentally shoot his GPS monitor. I guess it would have been too late at that point. They already would have had data of him being there. There's a classic. You found this story, and then you also found like the great follow-up audio to go with it. This classic video from how long ago was this one? Hey, this is a while ago.
Yeah,
probably 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Guy's standing at like a fast food restaurant waiting for his order or whatever, and he's fiddling with his pistol in his pocket, and it goes off.
I have no clue.
What? It was just something the volume of a gunshot that happened 3 feet away from you. What? I mean, it was loud. It wasn't that loud. Was it loud? I didn't think it was that loud. Oh, that's the thing, though. Like, I've never been in that situation where you're not expecting to hear a gunshot and then you hear a gunshot.
Yeah,
I've always been in a place where, with the only exception of when I've forgotten to put my ear pro on, you're at a range and no one else is there, nobody's been shooting, so you forgot to put it on, and then you shoot a rifle, and oh damn,
yeah,
that sucks.
The closest I was last night at the bar. Someone was having a party, and instead of like throwing the balloons away, they just started popping them all, and I was like, motherfucker.
I started choking on my beer because you're like, well, the closest I came to that was last night when I was at the bar. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell were you doing last night? Jeez. Yeah, that old despot. There's another accidental shooting I found. This was just posted yesterday. Police say a man in Jersey Shore accidentally shot himself in the leg last Monday when he was attempting the classic take apart his gun. Police in Jersey Shore, let's see, they were dispatched to a hospital around 3 p.m. for the report of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. According to Pennsylvania Crime Watch, police spoke to the man and learned that he was at his apartment when the gun accidentally discharged while he was attempting to disassemble it. Because, when you clean a gun, you take it apart, and then it went off. I was just cleaning it. I wasn't doing anything irresponsible. I was just cleaning it, like Jose Canseco famously said back in the day when he blew his thumb off.
Yep. Or like every cop.
Police checked the apartment building, making sure everyone was safe and no other injuries happened from the firearm discharge. Upon additional investigation, it was learned the man's firearm was a ghost gun. It was a ghost gun, Jeff.
Ooh, spooky.
Ghost gun. Well, I love the explanation in the story. Ghost guns are typically privately assembled firearms with no traceable parts. The man's injuries are not life-threatening and no criminal charges are pending at this time. Luckily, because it was in Pennsylvania, not in New Jersey. He'd they probably would have executed him if this happened in New Jersey. Police are reminding the public that firearms safety should be paramount. Always keep the muzzle of a firearm pointed to safe direction, and always keep your finger off the trigger and outside the trigger guard while cleaning or unloading a firearm. Thank you, Jersey Shore man, for reminding us all to unload the pistol before we clean it. Thank you. Yeah, I got asked today. I had a class and was asked, how often do you clean your gun? I just kind of started giggling because this guy had a pristine, very nice SIG P220 in 45. It was like an elite. It's like shiny and like a stainless finish. It's a very pretty gun, very cool gun. And it's immaculate. And meanwhile, I've got my worn out old skanky hoe Glock 34 that hasn't had a bath in, about a year or something like that. I still oil it up from time to time, but it's not been cleaned in forever. And I just kind of started giggling like, I wonder what his perception of me as a shooting instructor is going to be because I don't clean it. I'm like, I don't really clean it until the trigger starts dragging. Yeah. Because there's too much carbon in the side of the frame and trigger barker drags.
People get really uppity about like the cleaning of guns. And like, I personally, I took my Shadow 2 apart once last year. And when I did, I could pick the carbon out in chunks with my finger, and it was still working. Like, it wasn't malfunctioning. It's just I was at a friend's house to do some reloading, and they were cleaning their guns at the time, and I'm like, oh, I'll clean my gun too. Mm-hmm. And when I took it off, they're like, Jesus. I'm like, oh, it was still working. So
do you have a favorite method for cleaning like the carbon shit out?
I do get some joy because my friends have like the nice like pick set to like, and so like I just take the slide off and just pick all the as much big crap as I can, and then I just wipe it down a bunch of times and put it back together. Like, I don't like taking things apart because I can never put them back together. Right.
I like high pressure fluid. Like any cleaner that comes out of a can really fast and hard. Put on the gloves, stand in front of a garbage can, and then just blast all that shit out of it.
Right, but also be careful because I had one of my Shadow 2's coating was ripped off by a sonic cleaner.
Well, that's a sonic cleaner. I'm just talking about like spray cleaner.
Yeah.
I mean,
just one step
depending
above.
on what you put in the sonic cleaner, that's kind of the thing there. Like if you put like purple power or whatever that stuff is, the really gnarly, I don't know if I think it's corrosive. Like I clean my AR bolt carriers in a sonic cleaner. That's a time saver. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was having a trigger installed, and they were like, "Oh, you just threw in our sonic cleaner to clean it off," and then they were like, "Yeah, so it completely stripped the finish," and I was like, "It's my practice gun. It's fine."
Yeah, some finishes. Plastic doesn't like that stuff either. So like, I don't throw my. I mean, I suppose I could just put it in there with like soap, but like I don't know. I got whatever the cheapest spray pressure cleaner is. I like using those. It's pretty slick. Speaking of guns, I got my Tac Sport orange slide back.
Nice.
From Stonebridge Gunworks. Vince got it back to me very quickly. I got it back, and now I understand why the Optic gets sent in and why it's different. Because like I won't be able to put an SRO on this gun.
Yep.
Because it is literally because the SRO has that overhang of the lens. And the Tac Sport does not have not the Tac Sport. The 507 comp doesn't have an overhang. It just goes straight up. So that sucker is nestled in real nice and low. Like it's crazy how low it is. I'm almost distracted by the fact that I can see the end of the slide in the muzzle through the lens.
Oh, that is. Oh, yeah.
It's really low. I mean, that's got a longer slide and barrel than the Shadow 2 does. So it's
right.
And it isn't like a lot of it, but it is definitely there. I'm going to put the target focus trainer on the Optic anyway, but I was so annoyed though because it came yesterday while I was teaching, and I got it all put back together, got the slide put back together, the extractor and all that, and and brought it so that after I got done with my class today, I could zero it and mess with it. And I forgot to put more ammo in my range bag.
Oh, no.
I had like 75 rounds, 80 rounds, something like that. Just the last of, like, I just throw ammo in a brass bag, and that's what I run around with for the most part.
Yeah.
And so I only had like 30 rounds. Not even that. I think I had 25 rounds. Exactly 25. I know that because I was able to fill one mag, and there were 2 left in the bag. So I had 25 rounds to zero it and mess with it. And it's funny how I learned something about that gun. Part of the reason why I struggled a bit with it when I was shooting it in limited, when it was shooting 40, was, okay, you know how if you squeeze really hard with your firing hand, it's hard to press the trigger?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when that trigger only has to move like a millimeter, that matters less.
Yeah, it definitely negates a lot of poor everything else.
Yeah. So, I was basically trying to grip it like I would grip my Glock, where I actually got to move that trigger finger around kind of a lot. And I was still, despite that super light trigger, it's got a distinct wall. It's only 1.5 pounds, but it's a firm wall at 1.5 pounds. And I'm still just kind of pushing it around every time I press the trigger. And I'm like, damn it. So I'm just experimenting with gripping it because I haven't shot it hardly at all. And so I just decided, okay, I'm just going to grip the hell out of this thing and then press the trigger. And when I actually squeezed hard with both hands, all I got to do is basically like have a minor slight convulsion with my finger, and it sets it off, and it resets the trigger, and it sets it off, and I can still shoot it fast. So It was weird how, like, and part of it is the grip, the shape of that grip. It's a fat, chunky boy. Like, it's not, like, if you think a Glock is chunky, this, a Tac Sport Orange is a big, fat-ass grip. And the grip panels that I have on it are Hennings, and I don't think he makes them anymore, but they've got a little bit of a bulge. They're not like a palm swell, but there's a little bit of extra girth to them. But it's weird how I have to grip this pistol, even though it's a 9mm. It's not like a 40 anymore, but I got to grip it completely different than the other guns I shoot on a regular basis. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's one reason that I've thought about doing a limited optics gun, but like my grip is so based around a Shadow 2 that like I almost have to relearn it, and so a Tac Sport 2 probably would be the easiest switch. But yeah, having to switch between a plastic square grip to a fat steel contoured grip will definitely make you have to change a lot.
Yeah, I actually had a lesson on Friday. We're recording on Sunday night again. Lesson on Friday, he had a Shadow 2 with iron sights. Let me tell you, a Shadow 2 with iron sights is a joy to shoot as an iron sight gun. Holy crap. Compared to every other iron sight gun I've ever shot, I mean, Shadow 2s are nice guns. Like, I'm not saying anything groundbreaking. I'm not, breaking news or anything here, but the only Shadow 2s I'd ever shot had dots on them. So, it was just like shooting a dot gun. So I didn't, it was nice. Okay. It was fine. But shooting that iron sight gun, like, good God, is it easy to make that sight return?
Oh yeah.
God, I was so impressed with it. But like the grip shape is definitely, and he had big old fat palm swell grips on it too. And even then it was still just like smaller, just the way I grip it was just smaller and different. It was cool. But no, the slide cut, Stonebridge Gunworks did on it was fantastic. It rides so low. I can't wait to actually shoot it at speed and practice with it some more and whatnot. But very happy. If you want to get a slide cut, that'd be a good place to go get it, because it does get fitted with the Optic. He already had the Optic mounted. That's the other nice thing. I didn't have to screw it up like I did another gun of mine this week. We'll get to that later. I did something really dumb. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw the dumb I did this week. It's quite good. We'll get to that later. But last week we were going to talk about this and ran out of time, but night training.
Yeah.
Shooting in the dark. What? You shoot in the dark? That sounds dangerous. Well, I suppose it can be, but it's sure fun. Yeah, You've done like some cool stuff, though.
Right. So the first time I got to shoot at night was actually at a charity firearms experience that I got to go to because I worked at a shooting range, and the guy who was putting the thing on at the outdoor part of that facility, I got talking to him. He goes, "You should come out," and I was like, "Seriously?" He goes, "Yeah, totally. Just come on out." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And so we did mock door breach and like shooting around a car, like all the tactical stuff. But then they took us up and they let us shoot these precision rifles of some sort. All I know is that like the rifles were like 10 grand and the scopes on them were like way more than that. So like they didn't tell me exact prices. They're just like, these are really nice guns. And I was like, okay. And then they gave us dinner, and then after dinner we hiked back out to the rifle range, and they had night sights on it, or like I can't remember if it was night vision or if it was thermal, because it was steel targets, we couldn't really see them. So
probably
one
not
of the
thermal. You wouldn't have seen it if it was just steel.
Well,
I wouldn't think.
But one of the guys walked out with one of those IR illuminators, and so like it's like the night vision flashlight essentially.
Yeah.
And so I don't know very much.
It was probably just night vision.
Yeah, but
because the plate wouldn't have shown up on thermal.
Yeah, and so he walked out and put that illuminator out there, and we shot. I think they were suppressed and the whole 9 yards, and we were shooting at like 300 yards, give or take. But it was super interesting, and like all of the intricacies of shooting, like you have to take them extra serious at night because you're like, okay, let's make sure we're completely feeling everything we're doing and completely aware of what's going on, and it's super fun. I recommend anyone does it like in a very controlled environment.
Yeah, no, I haven't done any rifle stuff in the dark, and I've never done anything I would call night training. The only night shooting I've done is our night match at my club, which, by the way, the day that this podcast airs or drops, the SRSC dark match, Hit Factor dark match, will open for registration. It's on April 13th. You're coming, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay, good. Night match. We shoot in the dark. The problem is daylight savings time just happened, so the spring one is always a lot later than the fall one. So we're pretty much just going to start at a little after 8, even though it's not going to be totally dark, because I don't want to be there till 12:30 again like we were last year.
Well, and it helps anyone who's not done it before. Doing it in like dusk it allows you to get an experience of it without like, all right, here's hard mode.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. I never thought of that. Like, because there are some newbies that show up to it. If you're listening to this and you live close enough to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to come, please do. It's a blast. Like you will have a good time, and night matches don't happen everywhere. If you have night vision, though, here's the thing. There's the rule for it is not fair, and that's by design. If I know you and you've shot our matches before, or I know you from shooting matches with you, I let you use night vision. If I don't know you and you've never shot matches, sorry, you don't get to use it. It's super weird to watch someone shoot it with night vision, because to give people kind of like a description of like being the bystander is because 95% of us run a pistol mounted light, and so you can kind of watch what the guy's doing because you just watch where the light's going, and there's they break the 180 when the light breaks the 180. It's way easier than daylight.
Right. Well, and it tends to throw enough light off the back berm that you can kind of see everything going on. Well, yeah. We had one guy in our squad who shot with night vision, and so you heard the beep, and then you would just see the flash from his muzzle as he was running around, and it was honestly like a little unnerving as someone who ROs on a regular basis to be like, I don't know where his muzzle is. I don't actually know this guy. Like I'm very concerned right now. Like
I did know the guy, so I wasn't worried about him. Plus another thing on top of it, the stages are designed. There is nothing close to a DQ trap on any of these stages. The walls are 90% angled so that they're not blocking your view of anybody downrange, mostly after the shooting's done, so that we can account for everybody in the bay. Everybody is required to wear a chem light on the back of their belt and visible. That's not an option. The club we provide those. You don't have to bring your own. We provide those just as a safety feature. And if you want a second one, or like I like to dangle them from my cargo pockets of my Timmy pants.
Yep.
That's kind of fun because then they flop around like braids. It's kind of stupid.
Oh yeah. I also, you'll want to bring a handheld flashlight for pasting targets, and then you'll want to bring extra batteries and
you'll want to bring a second one or extra batteries. Yes.
Yeah. Because most of these lights are supposed to only be used to like look for your keys because you dropped them in a dark parking lot. They're not meant to be like, hey, let's just have this on for 5+ minutes. 5 times. Like they get warm quickly, and they burn through their batteries very, very quickly.
Go ahead.
I also recommend turning off the strobe feature of your TLR ones.
It's one of the best videos on Jeff's YouTube.
Yes, because you can hear this guy laughing in the background, and I just yell, "Shut up!"
I was ROing him, and he gets up to like the second array. And when he goes to aim, his gigantic hand bumps the thing, so it double taps it, so it starts flashing. And so now it looks like we're at a rave, and he's trying to shoot targets, and it's hilarious.
Yes. That one was very fun.
The flashlight, I have had one of these for a couple of years now. This one's kind of beat to hell, but I love it. The little Streamlight MicroStream USB, it's rechargeable.
Yep.
I've got 2 of them. Only because I thought I lost the first one. It turns out I didn't lose it. I found it. So I'll bring both of those because I'll be ROing people a lot. And, you know, during Make Ready, we have the flashlight on for you so you can, like, see what you're doing during Make Ready. And then once you're ready, then we shut the lights off. And then you do your thing, and any light you want after that is all on you. And it is super fun. Thing I learned the topic is night training. The thing I learned right away is that if you're shooting in the dark and you have a bright light on your gun and you're shooting a red dot, turn that red dot all the way up.
Correct.
All the way up. What? You're shooting in the dark? Yep. Turn it all the way up, because when that light hits that target, it shines like a beacon in the middle of the sea. And it's super bright. And I had my SRO turned down probably 1 or 2 presses of the button, and I could see it, but barely when it was on a target. So
yeah, it's a mistake you'll make on your first run, and then after that you turn it up a couple. I'm pretty sure I did the same thing, but it definitely. There are intricacies, but one thing to kind of like dispel some of the myth around it is like it's still just shooting.
Yeah, the shooting part is exactly the same.
Right. People talk about night training like it's some like secret forbidden art on the top of a mountain. It's like, nope, turn a really bright light on and it's just like shooting during the day.
Pretty much,
and your fundamentals take over and you're just shooting. So I think it's one of those things that people have like a fantasy or they put it like on a pedestal, but it's really just like, at least running a USPSA stage. I'll say it this way: running a USPSA stage is running a USPSA stage, regardless of the lighting.
Yeah, except the very first one you do. The very first one you do in the dark is going to be a learning experience, and after that, you're going to be like, okay, I did dumb things, and now I understand why I don't do dumb things, and now I'm going to make sure that I don't turn the strobe on, and I'm going to turn the dot on my gun all the way up.
Which I did turn the strobe on 2 more times.
Yeah, it was funny. You couldn't help yourself.
Well, to change TLR1 settings is like the most annoying thing. You have to like click it 10 times and hold it for 4 seconds exactly, and then it like cycles through the options or something. And I'm just like, stop it. Just stop it.
I didn't even know you could do that. I have that same light, but I didn't know you could do that.
I Googled it when I got home.
Oh God, that's funny. Because mine, so I'm left-handed. So when I draw, I flick my trigger finger up to turn the light on.
Yep.
And if I go down, it's like the hold and it stays on as long as your finger's on it. But if you let go, then it shuts off. But if you double tap it down, then it does the Strobes thing. At least that's how mine is. And so like I can't even accidentally do it because I'm never trying to go down to hit that switch. It comes out of the holster and I flick it up and then start shooting. And so yeah, that's funny. It's shooting in the. I will say this: like, it's not magical or anything, but it's good to be exposed to it.
Oh, it's
100%.
Definitely good to be exposed to it. And actually, after I did the night match, there's a guy local to us that does got more like tactical style training. I mean, he's friends with all the cops, and he's got a little range on his own property, and so he hosted a night shooting class, and I was like, okay, I'll give this Seal College try. And his is actually more based around the idea that you don't have a weapons mounted light.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, so there's like 3 or 4 grips that we worked on to like, like where do you put the light? Like there's the one method. So one of the methods was like hold it away from you because most people will shoot at the light.
Like kind of off to the side or something.
Yeah, like because like most people shoot, most people who do force on force get shot in the hand because people shoot the gun. Mm-hmm. And so the idea is, you hold the light as far away from your head as possible because to be like, hey, like shoot over there because at worst you get shot in the wrist. There's one where you like put it in between like your pinky and ring finger and then like form your natural grip with it like pointed like forward but like on the bottom of the gun. That one was
like on your sport hand.
Yeah, so that one's very.
I'm doing it right now, actually. Oh, that would work. That works pretty good.
It's very flashlight dependent.
Yeah, so my little tiny streamlight works pretty good.
Right, but I have like the thick like big
a big dildo flashlight. It's not going to work very good.
Exactly, and then we also did the support hand, like has the light, and then you rest your firing wrist on the wrist one, like that old school cop. So that was interesting to experience those, but at the same time, again, the shooting is shooting at the end of the day. And the guy, tactical guys always have to put their little spin on everything just to, market their class. And his was, you keep the gun until you're ready to fire. If you're moving around, and we did like one drill of this and it was very creepy. But you keep the gun against your belt buckle because his idea is if you're in like a shooting and you're worried that the cops are about to roll up, you don't want to be standing there with a gun drawn, but you may not want to put the gun away. And so his idea was you may, like if you're in an active shooting at like a mall, you may draw the gun to like be prepared if you need it, but you don't want to be running around with it. So like put it against your belt buckle and like move around that way. And so like he had us do a drill or two like that, and I was like
how against your belt buckle? Like how is it oriented?
So the safe way to do it is basically like take your firing grip palm and like the fat of your thumb, put that against your belt buckle with the barrel pointed down and out, so you're not flagging yourself.
I was just trying to so just like with one hand at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way, if you're holding something or you're maneuvering someone or you need to move someone out of the way, you have that hand free. But like, it's kind of like the old like cop like draw the gun, put it behind your leg kind of thing. And so like I understood his theory. I also have never seen it done in practice, so I don't really trust it. But like again, tactical guys always have to put like a little bit of, their own salt on the meal.
That's I mean, you could achieve the same thing by just like holding it low.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
just hold it belt high instead of like holding it in front of the belt buckle seems a little weird. Like, what do you do? Are you peeing? What's happening? Like the cop flashes a flashlight on you. Are you peeing over there?
Well, his theory is right. His theory is that you're drawing from appendix, so you just kind of like get the gun out and don't move it very much, and then it's also like still like in a controlled environment. Whereas if you were walking with it at your side, someone might see it and like try to grab you, not knowing if you were bad guy, number 2 or something. That was his theory. I don't necessarily. I'm not endorsing or supporting it. I'm just saying he had us do this, and it was an interesting thing. But yeah, that was the night class I took. Was it was all one-handed shooting because the flashlight took, and so it makes you think about, okay, like do some strong hand only shooting. Like you might need to do some strong hand only shooting, but like it's still just shooting. So you just have a flashlight in your other hand.
And here's where I give the quick anecdote that if I was doing this, I would switch hands to my right hand. And I would do all the flashlight stuff with my right. Remember, Jeff, I'm actually right-handed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. My dad made me learn to shoot left-handed because he was big into trap shooting and shooting a shotgun at flying targets. It's a lot easier to shoot with your dominant eye hand. So I just kind of learned that way, and that's how I do stuff. But whenever there's a strong hand, weak hand stage, I usually crush souls with the weak hand because it's actually my strong hand. When it's weak hand only or strong hand, I'm screwed because not only am I doing it one-handed with my left hand, even though two-handed grip, I'm way better with pulling the trigger with my left hand. I broke my arm bad as a kid, so I have a little bit of nerve damage. So I have to really focus hard to maintain a grip with my left hand, one-handed. So it's a little. Yeah. I'm weird. I'm very strange. I do things and like if you're listening to this and you're kind of new to shooting and like, oh, I'm left-eye dominant. Maybe I should shoot left-handed. No, don't. Your life will be so much easier if you're buying right-handed holsters. Don't do it. I wish I was just turning my head stupid like everybody else who's cross-eye dominant. I would never try to force right-eye dominance. I think that's a terrible idea, but... Yeah,
no, never force... Like, if your eye is dominant, your eye is dominant, and it's like... Craig Tappy is one of the best handgun shooters in the United States, and he is cross-eye dominant.
Oh, is he?
Shoots right-handed, and so if I remember correctly, he just his index just brings it up in front of his left eye.
Yeah,
like,
and maybe he turns his head ever so slightly to the right. Like my wife is the same way, but she shoots right-handed, and when she shoots, she turns her head a fair bit. There's a guy at my club though that's hilarious. He's left-eye dominant, right-handed. And he's basically, his nose is pointed 45 degrees off to the right when he's shooting. And then but he's looking back at the gun. And like he's got his head pointed way away from the target. It's kind of funny.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's just an exaggerated version of the same thing. So did you type this in or did I? Idiot versus ignorant.
I believe you typed that one in.
I did. Okay. So I had a conversation with a guy at a gun store on Friday when I had my lesson, which, by the way, if you're teaching a lesson, it's a really good idea to teach them at indoor ranges that sell magazines, because when you leave your magazine case at home, then you can at least buy one so you can demo. It had been a hot minute since I bought a Glock mag, so I was probably overdue anyway, but... I was talking to the guy at the counter and younger guy, former military. He knows his stuff, but he's tends to talk about new shooters the way a lot of people do, that they're stupid. Oh, these idiots coming in not knowing what they're doing. It's like, okay, but you literally just stated an oxymoron there. Idiots who don't know what they're doing, they're not the same thing. Okay, if you ever take somebody shooting who's never been shooting, don't treat them like they're stupid.
Right.
Treat the ignorant does not mean stupid. It means you don't know what you don't know. Jeff, how many brains have you successfully operated on?
Currently 0 that I'm aware of.
Okay. How good are you at putting on makeup?
Never tried. Okay. That's a task for the night.
Okay. Have you ever done diesel automotive repair?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so would you say you're ignorant on those topics?
100%.
Are you stupid?
Depends on the topic, but
Are you
I don't
stupid
believe
because
so.
you don't know how to do those things?
No.
Okay, so you're not even stupid depending on the topic. It's just you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so many people treat people who don't know what they're doing as if they're stupid, and they're not stupid. And it's a really bad way to go about it.
Right.
And
There is like we're kind of splitting hairs a little bit, because like as someone who's worked in a gun range, you deal with a lot of people that their ignorance leads to dangerous situations.
Oh, I
And
agree,
so-
100%. It does.
And so it's really hard not to call them idiots. Like
no, they're not idiots. They just don't know any better.
Well, and also there's the idea of like at what level of knowledge base does that start? Because like I had one woman, I was the RSO. I gave them the rules. Gun must be pointed down the whole time. Yada yada yada. Your standard shooting range rules. I'm standing there. She luckily fires the last shot. Gun locks back, and she turns around and like holds the gun to pose for a picture. Mm-hmm. Is she an idiot or is she ignorant? It was her first time shooting.
She's honestly ignorant.
Right. But if she would have made one more mistake, that could have been a very, 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 very dangerous situation.
Very true.
And so I definitely, as someone who worked in a gun range and dealt with a lot of new shooters, I understand the lack of distinction being made. And because you also don't know. Because I had an old man come in with his like college age grandchildren, and he had a 22 revolver, and luckily the cylinder was out, and we were standing in the range, and he used the gun as the pointing tool, and he goes, "You're shooting first, then you," and I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, "What? It's unloaded," and I'm like,
That's stupid, though. He does know better. He's not ignorant. Like, if the first thing he says is, "What's the big deal? It's unloaded." Like, he's not ignorant. He is an idiot.
right, and so the classification gets a little hazy, but I definitely agree with you at the core of what you're saying is we need to not gatekeep new people
Well, and
that come into the sport or the hobby.
more importantly, just don't make them feel bad about making a mistake. Inform them, educate them. Definitely don't make it. I'm not saying it's okay that they're doing this. I'm saying you should expect it. As someone who works with brand new shooters a lot, I taught an intro to handgun class on Saturday, and 8 of the 9 people in that class had never handled a gun in their life. And the 9th was the husband of a woman who had. So, and he just came along for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And when people, because I'm guessing this is a thing more so at outdoor public ranges, especially where they're volunteers, they're not professional range officers. And somebody makes a safety infraction, makes a mistake where, yes, they're doing something incorrectly, but it's not actually unsafe. A range I used to be a member of, I saw a guy who, there's no one downrange, but there is a ceasefire going on, like the light's on, and everybody's back, no one's downrange, and the guy was sitting at the rifle, literally with his hands behind his back, and he wasn't even looking through the scope, he's just sitting there. And this guy from 40 yards away starts screaming, "Get off of that rifle! Get off! What are you doing, you dumbass? Get off of there! Blah, 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 blah." He looked like a lunatic. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen, and it was really common at that range. Like, somebody makes a little bitty infraction, and they scream at him. I saw people do more dangerous things, and I would quickly walk over to them or get to them and go, "Make sure we don't do that."
Right.
And just point it out. And usually they're like, "Oh, my bad." But when you scream at people, you piss them off. Second, if they're new and they're already kind of nervous, like, you're just making them feel bad about it. Like, this is too complicated, I don't want to do it. And we don't need to make more enemies.
Right. And so, yeah, it's, I definitely I definitely see your point because there's that kind of fuddism of like yelling to correct and versus like, hey, just like so you know, blah blah blah, and because as an RSO, I ran into situations where like when I tell the story, I'm like, yeah, that guy's an idiot, but like in the moment, I'm like, oh hey, like, did you know what you were doing was incorrect? And they're like, no, I just thought that blah 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 blah. And you're like,
yeah,
well, you thought it through, you just didn't think about it correctly. So like I have to give you at least like some benefit of a doubt, but please don't do that again.
Whenever I explain the 4 rules of gun safety in a class, I do this gag that it used to work really good. Now it only works about half the time. So I'll have somebody read the first rule. All guns are always loaded. Okay, all guns are always loaded. And then I'll grab a pistol and I'll open it up and I'll show the chamber to someone in the class and I'll say, okay, is there a round in the chamber? No. And then I close it. Is this gun loaded? No. And then I go to the next person. Is there a round in the chamber? No. Is this gun loaded? No. And then I keep going until somebody finally gets what I'm doing. And they go, yes. And then I make a big production of it. And I go, yes. And I point back up at the screen. I just told you all guns are always loaded.
Right.
This is how you treat them. And so this silly little presentation is how I try to impart to people like, hey, even though you intellectually know it's not loaded, you still treat it like it's loaded. You know, always, always, always. But like what you said a little bit ago, like FUDs yelling. Sometimes in a class, like in my professional instruction career, I've had to yell at 2 people.
Yep.
Like yell, where it was like, okay, they're not getting it. This needs to hit home hard. And sometimes people don't get it until they get screamed at. And my dad said this. My friends who've been in the military said this. There would be guys who don't get it, like they do something unsafe, and then they get hit and then are forced to do really unpleasant things afterwards for making safety infractions on the firing line. And then they get it. Like sometimes people don't get it until someone screams at them. But I don't want to do that first.
Right. I definitely, like, as someone who teaches people violence, I teach people kickboxing and we spar, we fight, and I'll be like, hey, make sure you keep your hands up. Hey, make sure you keep your hand up. And then it's like, all right, we're going to violently correct this because you're going to want to keep that hand up here pretty darn quick.
Okay, so the reason your nose is broken is because you didn't keep your hands up,
and you didn't listen to me the first 4 times I told you.
But that's the part of it, though. It's this new thing. Like, to us, it's not a big deal to like be shooting a gun, or for you to be like getting punched in the face or punching someone in the face.
Right.
They're new and they're nervous,
bias.
and they're drinking from a fire hose. They're trying to take in all this stuff, and they're trying to do it all right, but you can't do it all right away. And it's just something I wanted to talk about because talking to another expert on Friday, I was like, I wish people would kind of approach this a little different. That's all. But something that is dumb is what I did to the mounting plate for the Optic on my Glock the other day. I believe it was on Tuesday. I had pulled the Optic off of my Mechanic and was going to put it back on my Gen 4 34. And I start screwing it down. And I was like, man, where are the screws for the Glock screws? Because if you've never had a Glock MOS, if you get a SRO, it requires special screws from Trijicon because they're a different length. The normal screws that come with an SRO don't work. So I go to the case for that SRO thinking I must have put the screws in there. Oh, look, here's the screws. Okay. And so I start screwing them in. And I am using the torque driver set to 15 pounds, just the way Trijicon says. It's supposed to be screwed into 15 inch-pounds of torque. And I'm like, man, it's getting tough, but it isn't clicking yet. Weird. I've been twisting on this thing for a while, and the screw's still kind of high. Okay, I'll work on the other one, and then I'll get them even, you know. So then I start cranking on the other one. And then I'm like, man, this is really... Oh, shit. I roll the gun sideways, and you've seen the picture. So it's possible to bend the mounting plate, the adapter plate for a Glock MOS if the screws are too long. for the optic and the plate, because it'll start prying. It'll basically just be this helical jack that is, just twisting on the top of the slide while it's bending the plate upwards with the optic on it. Like the steel plate bent, the optic didn't. Like that. Props to you, Trijicon. You make a tough ass optic for sure. I couldn't believe I didn't break it, honestly.
Right.
Now I have had like that dot like shutting off, but that was happening before I took it off the previous gun. Like it just was shutting off. I don't know if I got a battery cover issue or something. Like I have to take the gasket on and turn it down farther and then it works, but I don't know. I've heard of that happening for some people, but anyway, so make sure you have the right screws for your optic.
Don't red Loctite them.
And don't red Loctite the optic. I red Loctite the plate, but I don't red Loctite the optic.
Yeah, because I stripped the screws on my optic, and now I have to go take it to a gunsmith to get them out because I'm an idiot.
Have you ever done any other dumb DIY gunsmithing stuff?
So the answer is no, because when I was young, I tried to take apart my Ruger 1022 down to I took every piece out of it and I couldn't get it back together and had to take it to the gun shop to put back together.
Did you have all the parts?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't I didn't think about I didn't video it as I was taking it apart, and then I was like, oh, I don't know where these pieces go. Oh crap. So yeah, I'm not mechanically inclined, so I do not do very much handling of a firearm or disassembly work of guns because I'm an idiot.
I can figure it out, but it doesn't come quick. It's not. I'm not gifted when it comes to that. I had one of those Ruger PC carbines, the 9mm 1022. I had one of those, and I was. I can't remember why. Oh, I had a left-hand safety in it, so I was taking that out just in case someday I get another 1022 and want to put a lefty-friendly safety in it. And in the process of taking it apart, I, for some reason, cannot make it go back together. I don't remember how it worked, but it was not going well. And this was also the day I realized maybe I do have high blood pressure because I was so pissed that this was going poorly. Plus, I was running out of time before I had to go meet this guy. And I could feel my heart just going boom, boom, boom in my chest. I'm like, maybe I should calm down. Like, this is frustrating, but this isn't worth this
I get frustrated
much.
very easily. So
I do too.
That's another side of I don't really want to throw my gun through a wall because it won't go back together, because I've almost had that happen a couple times.
Mm-hmm. This is why I shoot Glocks, folks, because it's just so much easier. But no, when I posted the picture, it was mostly just to make fun of myself, and people did help with that. But one thing I didn't expect, and I should have expected, is then that cavalcade of people telling you what you should get to replace the thing you just broke.
Yep.
And it was, I knew, CHPW, PSP, CHW, whatever. I can't think of the name of that. They make really good plates. Everybody loves their plates. And there was a couple others that were suggested too. And I actually go on Amazon searching for Glock MOS plate. Like, honestly, I haven't really had an issue with the Glock plates. Like, they're not awesome, but they're not terrible. They do come loose about once a year on me, but that's why I have two guns. So I just ordered one that was, there was the CHP WSTUV, but it was literally double the price of another one that I had bought, a DPP. That was the brand of plate I got for my Shield Plus, because there was not really anything else that was in stock. And I've only got 500 rounds on that, but it seems to be working good. So, and it's made of titanium, so that's kind of interesting. It's a lot thinner, or not a lot thinner, but it seems to be thinner than other plates. The screw holes are also bosses, in addition to the little prongy boss things that are in the holes in the optic. So, it was in there really solid before I even put the screws in. So it seems solid, I don't know. We'll see if it's any good or not, but I just wanted to try it because, I already know the other 2 plates that people were suggesting are good. I kind of want to try this to see if it's good. And it was half the price, and I could get it in 2 days.
Yeah. I mean,
And I honestly, the being able to get it in 2 days was the biggest factor. It's like, sweet, I can get that in 2 days. I'm going to order that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I mean, is it great? Is it the best option? I don't know, but it's what I bought. And I actually had already ordered it before anybody suggested anything else. So it was too late at that point. I was just going to roll with it. So,
Right.
okay. So don't bend your plates. Use the right screws. So tactard insanity warning signs you wanted to talk about, Jeff. This was something you had last week we didn't get to.
Yes. So my Instagram algorithm has decided that I need to see every tactical post there is. That and Krav Maga, but that's a whole nother conversation. And
I know that's a martial art. I have no idea what it is.
it's this dumb Israeli one. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
The Israelis are not very good at what they do. Like, stop putting them on a pedestal.
Except hunting down Nazis and assassinating them. They're pretty good at negative treatment.
I mean, it did take them 30 years to do it.
Well, okay, there's that. I mean, they were, but I mean, those Nazis were pretty good at hiding too.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree. But yeah, they so like I get to see a lot of the tactical classes, and it just another part was we had a guy at our local club who went before the board and asked if he could host.
Oh, I heard this story. It's so funny.
Yes, he wanted to host this tactical instructor of some sort. They didn't say a name. I don't know the name, but
I do know the company. I won't say it, but
yeah. And they do the like supine, like shoot between your legs shooting, and they do the like. So, and the way it was described was they don't do the tactical look over each shoulder that's already dumb enough. They literally turn in a 360 degrees circle with their gun in their hand.
Well, you might have to shoot them if they're behind you.
Right, exactly. And so they wanted to host this like entry level public access class doing these very, very, I would say, I'm going to say unsafe training techniques that aren't actually that useful. And the guy was very offended when we said, and like the funniest part to me was actually the part that like got them a no from our club was because they were going to stay hot the whole time.
Yeah.
Because the concept of unloading the gun between reps was going to take so long they couldn't get through their curriculum. And I'm like, I've taken a class from a world-class shooter.
Yeah.
And we unloaded after literally every string. And it
took 5 seconds.
It takes 5 seconds. So,
Yeah.
like, that seems like a really weird... And, like, you know what I don't want? A dude in the porta shitter with a loaded gun.
On the floor of the porta shitter.
Right.
What the hell is that noise?
You hit the button.
No, I didn't. Do you hear it?
Yeah.
Why is it playing? Where's that coming from?
I have no clue.
Oh, the computer I recorded it from started playing it. I bumped the other mouse. But I didn't think it was coming from that because it was still on screensaver.
That's awesome.
Oh, God. Okay, let me minimize that. There. Now it's all fixed. Okay, sorry.
But
I could play the whole thing. No, I won't.
But yeah, and so it just got me thinking of like some of the warning signs of a class and the reasons not to go. One of them is the bad techniques that they like to teach, and there's several famous videos of this, and I saw one very recently. They do it. It's an Israeli quote unquote company, and they do what I like to call the tactical shuffle.
That's all you need to say, and everybody knows what you're talking about.
Right, and anyone who's been on the gun internet for more than a year,
you wiggle back and forth at the waist, like you go out and back. It's still, if you've ever shot a swinger in USPSA, like boom, dead, like that isn't helping you.
No, and it's
you're
like
just a human swinger,
right? And
we can call it the human swinger.
Double points.
You're just an activator target. That's all you are.
Right, because most of them seem to be doing it out of like I like a friend of mine coined the term the pageantry. Like they're doing the task because they were told to do the task without like the reason behind the task. And so, yeah, if you see something from an instructor, avoid all of the, like, any type of vehicle CQB, individual room clearing is not a thing. Please, like some of the tactical stuff, and then bad techniques as Andy, as an instructor, like, what is it, isosceles, or there's a stance that they used to teach back in like the 80s. Weaver.
Yeah, the old Weaver. Right.
And it's like they're teaching that, maybe go somewhere else. Maybe talk to somebody else. And you get those kind of outdated concepts that the guys who, I was trained in the 1980s by the U.S. Marine Corps, or I was a marshal in the 90s, and you're like, that was like a lot of years ago, bro. Like, maybe you're, what have you done recently? Nope, just been teaching for 25 years. Doesn't mean your information is good still.
Speaking of the Weaver, it was so funny. There was this, it was a permit class I was teaching. And so the shooting portion of the class, the state requires 100 rounds of live fire training. So, the first 50 rounds is just let everybody shoot a box of ammo and kind of get used to shooting, because some of them are newer, and I can coach them up a little bit to just basically just group shooting for the first 50 rounds. And then I basically have them for the second 50 at 15 and 10 yards. We'll do like practical accuracy. And then we'll shoot doubles after that. And then the last distance is 3 yards. Like the first and last distance is 3 yards. And I just have them do a mag dump at 3 yards. Like 10 rounds as fast as you can run the gun. Because a lot of people have never done that before. They don't know what it feels like to run a gun really fast. Even the doubles, like you can see, it's melting people's brains when you have them go like, no, I want you to double click the mouse. Like, da-doom, da-doom. And this one woman and her husband, they had gone to Front Sight when that was still a thing. Yep. Like they were life members at Front Sight. It is Front Sight, right? That's the one that's defunct, and now it's like Prairie Fire or whatever. Yeah,
down like Arizona.
Yeah. Well, because then there's Gun Sight. That was Jeff Cooper's.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, I was getting the two of those mixed up.
I think Gun Sight is the Jeff Cooper one that still exists, and Front Sight was the weird one. This woman had been to Front Sight a lot. And this happens every once in a while where I will teach the grip, like I'll give a demonstration on here are the basic principles of how you want to grip a pistol two-handed. And every once in a while somebody will go, I actually do it a different way. I was trained differently. And I'm like, okay. And I know what's coming. Like, I shoot a Weaver stance. And because I either shoot 1911s or I shoot 1911s that are a little bit smaller. And this woman was shooting a 1911 that was a little bit smaller. And she was, she had a good Weaver stance. Now, I've done it. Like, I messed with it to find out what's good about it. It's good for minimizing recoil. If you're shooting, like bullseyes, it does work pretty good. Like, you're a little more stable. But if you're trying to shoot fast, it sucks ass. Like, because you have so much tension. The gun is bouncing up and down like a diving board after I jump off of it. It's like... And so when we get to the last string at 3 yards where you have to shoot as fast as you can, this woman's gun is just, it is way, now she's 3 yards from the target and about 6 yards from the berm, so like bullets aren't going over the berm, but the gun is going up and down by probably a foot.
Oh Jesus.
It's just so out of control. It was so funny. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But those people, I just don't coach them, because it's like, okay, you're not open-minded, you're not here to learn, you're here to show how smart you are, and that's fine.
And that's a coaching tip that I give to all my coaches, and like I run into that in the kickboxing world. Is some people are like, this is my taekwondo stance, and like da da da. I'm like, okay, try it at sparring. We'll see how long it lasts. And because they're like, nope, I've got 17 knockouts with this. I'm like, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so going back to it is like, make sure to watch out for that knowledge that they're like, oh, they've been teaching this since 1947, so that must be good. And you're like, nope, that doesn't mean anything.
Understanding of the universe hasn't changed over the last 200 years.
Right. Exactly.
Why would it change when it comes to shooting technique?
Right. Exactly. We just need to be standing in a long line with each other and just be marching towards the cannons
with bayonets fixed
and buglers and a little drummer boy.
Yep.
Exactly. And so the other part to watch out for, and like I'm going to throw this out there as a slight, but like don't do their tests. Like
the ones where you get a coin or
all
patch?
your challenge coin tests, they're meaningless, they're dumb, and they're just a way for the coach to make money.
It's a marketing tool.
It's a marketing tool.
But sometimes it works. Still, some of them though are kind of cool. Like one of those drills it's a test, but like to me it's a really valid one. Is it the fast drill? I think it's called FAST. Do you know that one?
I know of it because there's like 15 or 20. Like, let's see.
It's on pistoltraining.com. Yeah, if you just type in fast drill, you'll find it.
Range 7 yards, target 8-inch plate, start position weapon concealed or in duty conditioned holster. 6 rounds fired on start signal. Shoots, draws, fires 2 rounds at a head target. Performs a slide lock reload. Fires 4 at the body.
Yeah, so it's like a big 8-inch circle and then like a bigger than a USPSA head A box,
right? And
rectangle.
It's supposed to represent the Mozambique drill, which was fake, and and it's doing a slide lock reload, which you never need to do. It can only be done from concealment or duty holster, which I get it, tactical world, whatever, and it's just. Like, don't waste your money going after the Ronin tactical black belts or the fast drill. Go do it at your home range.
I 100% agree. I like the drill. Like this, I think Ernest Langdon does this one and has like a challenge coin or a patch or something in his classes and like whatever. I don't disagree with you when it comes to like don't chase everybody's patch because it can be a waste of money. I don't know. I mean, it's a class. You're learning something if you achieve a thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think they are a little cheesy, mildly cringy, but like of all of them though, like everybody just comes up with their own version of this, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think this was like the original that but worked, and people were like, "Oh, I'll make my own version." I get it, I do like,
and like to me, this drill is kind of fun. Like, I think it's a fun drill. It tests lots of different things, and it's kind of fun. And I don't mind different drills that test things. You know,
but as someone who's taken a shooting class, like the whole like test at the end thing gets really annoying because you're all just kind of standing there, like at the end of a long range day, and you're like, I kind of just want to go home at this point. So like. But yeah, I just like they do these tests that I think are kind of cringy, and then a lot of them are like really just kind of LARPing classes to like make you feel like a buddy of mine was telling me about there's a training outfit out of like North Carolina or something where they dress you up in full battle rattle and you patrol their property, like.
Really?
Because you're practicing tactics with dudes you'll never see again.
Well, I kind of do the same thing, except when I do it, it's called deer hunting.
Right.
But I'm also doing it out west. I'm not doing it in the eastern side where it's like basically sit and wait for something to walk by. Like I'm spotting and stalking. So I guess I'm on patrol for mule deer. I guess
exactly. You know? But like,
and I'm wearing camo, but I'm also wearing blaze orange. That's probably a bad tactical doctrine.
Hey, you're blending in. You're blending into the population.
You know what I saw one time? Real quick aside.
Yeah.
A blaze orange plate carrier. Not the dumbest product ever invented.
I have seen those.
Because there's been times where I've been hunting where I'm like, maybe I should have a blaze orange plate carrier with like some level 4 shit in there.
RSOs also wear them. I've seen them in red and orange for RSOs. But yeah, no, there are times at a public shooting range where you're like, I understand why you might want level 4 plates.
I'm not gonna shit on them. I'm not.
Nope. I've had AKs pointed at me. I've had pistols pointed at me. Like
when I started teaching, my wife said, "Are you gonna get like a bulletproof vest?" I was like, no, if I need that, I'm doing a bad job. And then after I'd been doing it for 3 years, I remember talking about this guy who was wearing one while teaching somebody. And I just said it and I was like, oh, it's not the worst idea. And she's like, that's not what you said when you started. I was like, huh? I forgot the conversation.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
A trainer at the shooting range I worked at, he came down one time. He goes, pull up the videos right now. And we're like, okay. We pull up the camera. He's in front of the line. Like they're at like low ready, like pointing at the ground or something. And like he's having like an individual shoot. Well, someone was finger fucking their gun and lit one off into the wall, like with him technically downrange, but his back was to them. And there were two shooting ranges next to each other. So he wasn't 100% sure if it was that dude, but he came down. He's like, show me right now. And I think he went up and kicked him out of the class. But yeah, I was like, holy shit. Like,
no, I was doing a pistol skills class last summer, and all of us went downrange because it was going to be a relatively close range drill. I don't remember what it was, but me and the other 8 people, there was like 8 or 10 people in the class, and I thought everybody was down there with me. This was a learning experience as an instructor, like know where everybody's at. Right. Then I'm about to start explaining the exercise we're going to do when I hear the very distinct sound of a Glock racking. And I turn around and the guy's putting it in his holster and he's just walking up like with his jean shorts on and his dad socks up to his knees. And I'm like, don't do that again.
Right.
And he looked at me and like, oh my God, what did I do? I was like, don't load your gun, rack it, handle it behind everybody. You either do it at that safe table we talked about, or you do it on the line with everybody else. Okay. Like, again, ignorant versus careless. Like, he wasn't ignorant of safety. He's like, I had it pointed at the ground. I'm like, okay, thank you, but don't do that again.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So,
and one of the other, like, I think this is from the world we come from like the USPSA, like hit factor scoring system, going to like a tactical world scoring system will break your brain. Like some tactical, some of the tactical dudes, they'll put a quarter up there, draw a Sharpie circle around it, and like that's your shooting point. Any shot out of that's a fail. Or like
that's gonna be slow.
Right. Because you got to account for every shot you fire.
Yeah, speed is fine, but accuracy is final.
Exactly. And like one guy was talking today about that a church security team used alphas were down 0, Charlies were 3 seconds, and deltas were 6 seconds.
Okay, Charlie, you're still catching lung on a bad guy.
Exactly.
Like that's still not a wound I want.
Exactly. But yeah, it's so punishing that, and like that punishing of small mistakes, especially as new people, you're not helping them to grow as and so again, these are just those little things in the tactical class coaching world that you got to look out for. You'll also find the war story guy. There's always the war story guy that has to tell.
Have you taken a class from a war story guy?
I've actually been.
I've heard about them, but I have not taken a class from one.
I've not run into them in the shooting world. I've run into them in the kickboxing world.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, a buddy of mine, he's a talker, and like you have to like bring him back to center because he will not only tell you like the move he wants you to do, he will tell you the like history behind the move and like the origin story.
I can appreciate that though. Like he's not doing it for his own whatever. He really
just
loves
a nerd.
He's a dork. Yeah, totally get it. I can appreciate that. I have to remind myself when I'm explaining rifling in a barrel at an intro class to not talk about how it started with the French back in the early 19th century. Like I try to leave that out of it when I discuss rifling in a barrel.
Right. And exactly. It's like try to give them the information they need, and like that's a very good coaching like tool that you need to look out for, because I mean, my coaches that teach kickboxing at my gym, sometimes they'll have like a 10-minute explanation on like a 2-punch move, and I'm like, bro, we need to like get them doing the punch in here pretty quick. Like,
they're paying money here, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, and so that one's more of a coaching rather than like a warning sign. But there are those, like, I've only heard about them, but I've heard of dudes basically like having like story hour.
Yeah. That
you're just like, okay, can we get
so
back
we have a 30-minute discussion and then we shoot for 5 minutes.
Yep. It again, the whole class realm, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like, take 1 or 2 classes and then go start shooting USPSA, or hit factor matches,
or vice versa.
Right.
Or
like,
start shooting USPSA and take a couple classes. I don't think the order matters.
But like,
just be safe. That's all anybody cares about if you're new.
Right.
Just be safe.
Be safe and don't overthink it. And like, the tactical world likes to put up all these excuses about like, oh, well, like you're not building your tactics or your mindset. And I'm like, Andy, have you ever done a force on force class before?
Does airsoft count?
Sure.
Yes.
When someone was shooting at you, did you try to get behind something large and solid?
Yeah, because that shit hurts when it hits you in the arm.
Yeah.
Less than 20 yards.
Right. It's shocking how quickly the human brain will go back to its very lizard brain foundations of, hey, that thing is not good. I should not be around it. It doesn't take a lot of thought process to be like,
honestly, like the airsoft guy, like me and my youngest son is very into airsoft, and I went with him to his first match and I rented gear, and I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous about how bad it was gonna hurt when I got tagged. And it's not that bad because you're required to wear a mask. So you're not getting hit in the face. Or you're required to wear goggles. Mask is optional if you're over 18, but goggles are not optional. You're required to wear goggles.
Yep.
Because I did take one in the neck that stung. That was not pleasant. But I played high school and college football. Like, I've had my fingers mashed between a couple face masks before, so like, I've been through worse. It wasn't that bad, but it's not fun when you get tagged relatively close.
Oh man, while you were talking, I just found this great thing on Instagram.
Cody, thanks, ass, for listening.
Oh, sorry. I guess I should listen to you sometimes. Cody Axon was on Instructor Zero. He is the quintessential tactard instructor.
Uh-huh.
And he did something at the Dynamic Cert Academy, something or other, and some dude asked a question and he gave him a 5-paragraph response. And Cody's response was all those words to say nothing. Instructor Zero is the quintessential tactard instructor who puts out a lot of like meme videos, but never actually puts out any information.
That's so funny. Okay, well, I think we've done enough damage here this week. Go to our website, which is notanothershootingshow.com. There's not really anything there, but there will be someday. So I want to throw that out there to eventually go there. MW Activewear. She did jerseys. I got my jersey. I forgot to mention that Michelle sent me my jersey.
I was about to say we haven't mentioned our 3 things yet. And
oh my god!
I also got my jersey at our shooting party, which that's a whole story in itself. But yeah, I got my shooting shirt from MW Activewear, so now I have 15 of her shirts.
I have a lot now too. I have the Hit Factor. I have the Not Another Shooting Show jersey, and then I have 2 Area 3s because you work multiple days, you get 2 shirts, and then I have Great Plains, and I have Cornhusker, or an ENPS shirt, which it doesn't actually say Cornhusker on it, does it? The ones from last year. Anyway,
they should, but.
But anyway, I don't remember. But anyway, if you are doing a match, if you're the match director for a match, and she actually got me the design for the Great Plains Hit Factor Championship. The design's done. I just got to post it so I can get the shooter sales done, and then I'll order those in the shooter shirts, or in the staff shirts. But the best thing about these, if you've ever had to deal with handing out shirts to competitors or staff, that's the biggest pain in the ass, is you get this, and this is the same way when I worked in radio. We get a box of a gross of shirts, and like, here's all the XLs, and there's also some larges and double X's thrown in there, and you have to like sort through this giant box to like find them all. When you get them from Michelle, MW Activewear, they come wrapped individually, and they have, here's the key though, you have to require that they put at least their last name on it, because then the name is on the tag on the bag, and then you can easily hand them out. It's awesome. So MW Activewear, MW_active. It's spelled funny. Go to the show notes of this podcast and click the link. You'll find her. I beat Steven at Iowa section, and he hasn't beat me since. And
I was about to say Steven's a bitch, but we still love him.
Yep, we do. And I kind of want a 10mm high point, because
I'm going to buy a high point with the Optic Ready one. You should. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Subscribe, give us a review. It'll help. We really appreciate it. Also, thanks Ben Barry. He mentioned us on his last podcast, and we got a nice little bump from that. I'm on 3 consecutive episodes of the Casual Shooters podcast that came out. If you want to hear me talk more, then you can hear me over there. Maybe talk a little crazy. There's actually a couple things I'm like, should I have said that? So if you want to hear things I question whether I should have said them or not, you can hear them on the Casual Shooters podcast. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.